Hey there, my fellow psychology enthusiasts. Welcome to the Psychology Lab YouTube channel. Are you tired of not being able to understand people around you? Are you feeling left out at parties because you can't read the room? Fear not, because in this video, I'm going to give you 15 psychological tips on how to read anyone instantly. Before starting, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Let's start. Tip number 1. Pay attention to their body language. If someone is crossing their arms and looking away from you, chances are they're not interested in what you have to say. And if they're leaning in and making eye contact, they're probably engaged in the conversation. But let's take it a step further. Did you know that if someone is standing with their feet pointed towards you, it means they're interested in what you're saying? And if they're constantly touching their face or hair, it might mean they're nervous or uncomfortable. Real-life example time. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see a group of people huddled together. One of them has their arms crossed, while the others have their feet pointed towards him. From this, you can tell that the person with crossed arms is not as interested in the conversation as the others. Tip number 2. Listen to their tone of voice. If someone is speaking quickly and with a higher pitch, it might mean they're excited or anxious. And if they're speaking slowly and with a lower pitch, they might be feeling relaxed or bored. But wait, there's more. Did you know that if someone's voice goes up at the end of a sentence, it means they're asking a question? And if it goes down, it means they're making a statement. Let's apply this to a hypothetical situation. You're at a party and you overhear someone saying, "I'm having a great time." But their voice goes up at the end of the sentence, making it sound like a question. This might mean that they're unsure if they're actually having a good time, and they're seeking validation from the person they're talking to. Tip number 3. Pay attention to their eye movements. If someone is looking up and to the left, it might mean they're recalling a memory. And if they're looking up and to the right, it might mean they're imagining something. But hold on, there's more to this too. Did you know that if someone is looking down and to the left, it might mean they're experiencing negative emotions? And if they're looking down and to the right, it might mean they're accessing their feelings or emotions. Let's put this into context with a story. You're talking to a friend who just got out of a bad relationship. They're looking down and to the left while recalling a memory of their ex. You can tell that they're still feeling hurt and upset about the situation. Tip number 4. Pay attention to their hand gestures. If someone is using big, expansive gestures, it might mean they're feeling confident or dominant. And if they're using smaller, more subdued gestures, they might be feeling shy or submissive. But wait, there's even more to this. Did you know that if someone is pointing their index finger, it might mean they're feeling aggressive or accusatory? And if they're holding their hands together in front of them, it might mean they're feeling nervous or insecure. Let's bring this tip to life with a scenario. You're at a job interview, and the interviewer is using big, expansive hand gestures. This might indicate that they're feeling confident and dominant in the situation. However, if they're also pointing their index finger at you, it might mean they're feeling aggressive or accusatory. Tip number 5. Pay attention to their facial expressions. If someone is smiling, it might mean they're happy or friendly. And if they're frowning, it might mean they're upset or displeased. But there's more to facial expressions than just smiling and frowning. Did you know that if someone raises their eyebrows, it might mean they're surprised or interested? And if they furrow their brow, it might mean they're confused or skeptical. Let's apply this to a real-life scenario. You're talking to a friend who just got a promotion at work. They're smiling and raising their eyebrows, indicating that they're happy and interested in the conversation. Tip number 6. Pay attention to their breathing patterns. If someone is taking deep, slow breaths, it might mean they're feeling relaxed or calm. And if they're taking short, shallow breaths, it might mean they're feeling anxious or stressed. But wait, there's more to this. Did you know that if someone is sighing frequently, it might mean they're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated? And if they're holding their breath, it might mean they're feeling tense or nervous. Let's put this into a relatable story. You're in a meeting with your boss, and they keep sighing and taking deep breaths. This might indicate that they're feeling overwhelmed with work or frustrated with a particular project. Tip number 7. Pay attention to their use of space. If someone is standing close to you, it might mean they're feeling friendly or intimate. And if they're standing far away, it might mean they're feeling distant or uncomfortable. But there's more to this tip than just physical distance. Did you know that if someone is using a lot of hand gestures or movements, it might mean they're feeling excited or passionate? And if they're standing very still, it might mean they're feeling reserved or cautious. Let's put this tip into context with a story. You're at a networking event, and you're trying to approach a potential client. They're standing very still and not using any hand gestures, indicating that they might be feeling reserved or cautious. Tip number 8. Pay attention to their use of time. If someone is always punctual and organized, it might mean they're feeling in control or responsible. And if they're frequently late or disorganized, it might mean they're feeling overwhelmed or unprepared. But there's more to this tip than just being on time. Did you know that if someone is always checking their watch or phone, it might mean they're feeling impatient or bored? And if they're constantly multitasking, it might mean they're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Let's put this into a real-life scenario. You're in a meeting with a coworker who is constantly checking their phone and multitasking. This might indicate that they're feeling stressed or overwhelmed with their workload. Tip number 9. Pay attention to their vocal cues. If someone is speaking quickly and loudly, it might mean they're feeling confident or excited. And if they're speaking slowly and quietly, it might mean they're feeling reserved or timid. But there's more to vocal cues than just volume and speed. Did you know that if someone is using a lot of filler words like and like, it might mean they're feeling nervous or unsure? And if they're using a monotone voice, it might mean they're feeling disinterested or unengaged. Let's put this tip into context with a story. You're on a first date with someone who is speaking very quietly and using a lot of filler words. This might indicate that they're feeling nervous or unsure about the situation. Tip number 10. Pay attention to their personal style. If someone is always wearing bold, bright colors, it might mean they're feeling confident or outgoing. And if they're always wearing neutral, muted colors, it might mean they're feeling reserved or understated. But there's more to personal style than just color choices. Did you know that if someone is always wearing a lot of accessories or makeup, it might mean they're feeling creative or expressive? And if they're always dressed very casually, it might mean they're feeling relaxed or laid back. Let's put this tip into context with a story. You're meeting a new colleague for the first time, and they're wearing a lot of bright, bold colors and accessories. This might indicate that they're feeling confident and outgoing. So those are the 15 psychological tips for reading anyone instantly. Remember that these tips are just guidelines and not foolproof indicators of someone's emotions or personality. People are complex and can have many different reasons for their behaviors. But by paying attention to these cues and using them to inform your interactions with others, you can improve your communication and build stronger relationships with the people in your life. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks on improving your communication skills.